I think the biggest reason, I know the biggest reason it means a lot to me that you all are here is because it means you're investing into your future. And there's nothing more important in this industry than to gain as much knowledge as we can, because this business will kick our butts. And there will be times where we just feel completely lost. What am I doing? Did I make the right choice? Did I make the right decision? And as you go through those moments, the one thing you're going to have to fall back on is all that you've learned. So, my heart to yours, thank you all for being here. First thing I'm going to start with is something in today's meeting that I want everyone to try and maybe adopt in your business, and that's going to be, hold on, did you see it? Did you see it? Look. That by far is my favorite crumble. There it goes. Hashtags. Hashtags are extremely important in our industry. And you want to make sure that you're using as many hashtags as you can with your posts. Who can tell me why you think hashtags are important?
That way you can say, I click on a hashtag, and any post I post, like say Unbroker, I click on it, it'll take you to any post I've ever hashtagged that in.
Yes.
So if you want to see what I did for Everyone's Wild, that's what it says, right?
I don't know what happened there. Don't worry about that one, Marvin. You always point out the weird things. Leave it alone. Yes, Gloria?
Should it be relevant, though, to what you're posting?
It should be relevant to what you're posting, absolutely. For example, I probably wouldn't make a post, and for lack of better names, wouldn't post, hashtag Kim Kardashian. If I did, though, I would have major views just as a result of, why? Well, why am I showing up somewhere else when I shouldn't be there? So I would just say, to your point, absolutely, you want to be, relevant to your industry. But more importantly, you want to truly identify yourself through some hashtags. It's very important. And like Marvin said, if I have a video series going, right, and I'm marketing myself through video, and I want people to go back and watch all of my last episodes, start hashtagging each one of your episodes so that they have access to everything that you've done. Asher.
The only thing I'm gonna add to that is you can put up to 30 hashtags maximum per post. And it's actually based off of algorithms. So there's an app called Hashtag Pro that I use because I was doing them manually, and it is time consuming. And when you're going on multiple platforms, from Facebook to LinkedIn to Instagram, it gets a little tedious to where you want to go, or you just copy and paste in the Hashtag Pro app. You can use the free version. It's like $19 a month, but you type in your top 5 that you want to focus on, and then it searches the algorithm for what are the most searched tags for you, and then it spits them all out, all 30, and you just copy it and slap it on your post. So it'll speed up the process, and it'll be more effective than you thinking you know what's trending. It'll go and find the top trending tags for you to get you maximum exposure on each post.
Yep, well said. Very good.
I'm definitely going to be stealing that. I thought you took a lot of time on those hashtags.
Frankie.
I used to, not anymore.
Yeah, I've
I'll
heard
send it
that
to you.
you don't
Yeah.
hashtag on Facebook.
Yeah, you do. You still can hashtag on
You
Facebook
want
too.
to hashtag on Facebook,
Okay.
sure,
Yep.
yes.
I
Yeah, and I heard the same too, so I avoided it for a long time, and now if I want to find a post that I did that I thought was relevant in today's, market, like credit, or educating people on down payment, then I could have gone back easily and just pulled them all up, had I had been hashtagging, so absolutely. All right, so that being said, I wanted to show you a little video that I thought was kind of funny. Ellen found this, so let's take a peek at it.
I love that one.
Most professions don't really show you their photos when they advertise, but for some reason realtors do, and I've always been surprised by, they're always on park benches, or they're very interesting photos, and these are real photos of realtors. This first one this is Brad Lamb from Toronto, Canada. This is his ad. All right?
Brad
I also
Lamb,
love the
okay.
competition. So when it comes time to make the most important financial investment of your life, choose the space sheep. He wouldn't steer me wrong, that guy. That guy is. This is Dorita Mayu from Largo, Florida. Here she is with her Doritos.
feel like I'm about to
The
go
only
next.
problem with her is when she shows a house, well, take a look. This is one of the houses she was showing. The Cheeto. That's how she shows a house. Here's a wall, that's how she shows it. Now, this is an ad, this is on a bench in Royal LePage, Canada. Wendy Wacko. You don't want to go with just any wacko. That's not the first wacko I've seen on a park bench, by the way. This is Sandy Ohms in Fremont, California. Now, if you'll just push me down.
Right,
the hall.
Yeah,
All
Morgan's gonna
right,
do something.
and here's another one of her ads, actually. This is real. This is her on the moon. For some reason in the background, there's another moon. Oh my God. And then even on the moon, there's competition. Look who's out there. Here's not a realtor. You think I should see, send it to me. When we come back, Diane Keegan.
So one of the reasons I thought this was pretty relevant, right, for today, was because some of these realtors, as funny as it might be, they've created a niche, okay? And as you move in and move through this year in 2020, what I would like to see each one of you do is to try and adopt some type of niche for yourself. So as we go through some of these next slides, what I want you to think about and what I want you to do is chime in, right, and tell me where you think you could find a niche in buyer market and seller market based on a couple of the slides that we look at, okay?
Is gonna be sitting right.
So, niche. Knowing your buyers allows you to create a niche through your videos and marketing. I don't know why it always shows up like that, but I will eventually fix it. So, trying to create a niche through the buyer market, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our buyers, okay? And this is a survey that went out through the California Association of Realtors, and they asked buyers and sellers collectively, but separately they asked these buyers what drove them to buy, what was some of their fears for purchasing, and so we have an idea of what 500,000 people in California, what drove them to either purchase or sell. So what we want to look at, the first one is home size. CAR sent out and said, what were the primary reasons for buying the home? What was it? They wanted a larger home. 39% wanted a larger home. So the question I'm going to ask you is, what kind of niche could we as realtors make from this, knowing that 39% of 500,000 buyers wanted a bigger home? What kind of niche could you make?
What video you do with that, and you could just add that into, like, so for me, I already have a niche. So my niche would be wearing suits, talking about bigger is better, go big or go home.
I like that.
You know, just put off whatever you're gonna go with. Advertise, just that right there is a month worth of content.
So go big and go home, right? So if
Yeah.
I was doing videos, for example, I might start off with, hey, this is your go big, go home specialist, right? You want to cater, right? You want to create that niche. For example, of Captain Ryan Baker, Captain Firefighter, right? What he's going to start focusing on, and what he does focus on, is that Homes for a Hero niche, right? Reaching those other firefighters. That's a huge niche that you can get in front of. Wanting a larger home, I would probably think in my head, I'll give you this one, move up specialist, right? I'm your move up buyer specialist. Welcome to our next episode. And now you are catering yourself to sell to 40%, 39% of California's biggest reason for buying a home. That's huge. So while you're doing your videos and while we go through these slides, I want you to begin thinking, right? Get your brain, let's start doing some exercise here, and think of what's the big niche. Why didn't you buy a home sooner? What was it? Needed to save for down payment. 28% didn't buy a home sooner in 2019 because they needed to save for a down payment. The misconception, and it was on another slide that I looked at on the 2020 Outlook that they gave, CAR, what they talked about was 50 58%, don't quote me on those two numbers, but it was a very high percentage, above 50, that thought they had to save 30 to 70% as a down payment before they could buy. And so, what's a niche, knowing, think in the education realm, down payment, what would be a niche that you could capitalize on this? So I would probably say, welcome to our next segment of your down payment education specialist.
Right.
Something along those lines. It's not a challenge, but we need to use very specific language, very specific hashtags, obviously, and very specific purpose. What we talk about is being intentional. Yes? Everything we do must be intentional. How many times do you hear me tell you that if you're going to put something out on Facebook, stop. Damn it. Pause. Do not do it. Reflect for a moment and review what you just wrote. Review the video 3 times before you put it on, and please check your photos before you do it. There's nothing worse than not hitting the mark. Okay? Nothing worse. Everything you put on Facebook is your resume. I say it every time. It's your resume. It's not just a post of an education. It's your resume. You are competing against 5,000 other agents that just posted the same thing the same day. Yours has to stand out. Need to say for down payment, a very big misconception. Imagine if you had a piece of that pie right there. 28%, because you were the specialist that talked about you don't need to save 30% anymore. Taking a look at how most people found their home. They found 34% found through a real estate agent, 32% found online. So for those that don't have an online presence, probably time to get an online presence. And what I mean by get an online presence means beef it up. Begin doing more. Let's say I'm looking for a home on Monday, and Sharon decides to not post on Monday. Long weekend, Niners are doing so good. She just couldn't really wake up the next morning and just find it in her to post. But I'm looking for a home on Monday. She misses the business. Ryan was posting on Monday. Happened to catch my eye, and I thought, you know what, that's awesome. You have to be consistent, and you have to beef up what you're doing, but do it with intention. And the intention is to become a specialist. Even if it's a specialist on Monday, you're talking about, what would you talk about on Monday? Down payment, right? Tuesday you talk about something else, but you become a niche expert on those days.
Moving Mondays.
Move-in Mondays. I like that.
Don't use it. That's copyrighted. Let's use it.
Here are some additional challenges that buyers came up with, right? Buyers were faced with some additional challenges. Coming up with money. It was a problem. They couldn't come up with money. Nate, do we have down payment assistance programs?
Yes, we do.
Do all of us know about that? Remember, this is our specialty.
Yes, we do.
And if we don't know about it, we need to begin asking those questions as, hey, what programs are going to overcome this challenge? Because 500,000 people thought it was a big enough deal to write it in. Getting the first house rejected. So I would think you're going to become an education specialist, find a niche to become an educator, and you're also going to become a terms specialist. We talked about how sellers, when they sell a home, they want 2 things, right? They want price and they want terms. In this market, it's not always that you get both. You might get a good price, but you might get horrible terms. I'm going to close in 90 days, right? And the seller's terms might say, well, I really need to move in 30. Well, buyers might want to rent back for 3 months until they can find a home to sell. So now these terms are going back and forth, and you're stuck with this price, but you really wanted terms. Or you want great terms and your price is an all-cash offer, and it's $60,000 below what you're asking. So getting the first house rejected is a big problem. One of the things I'm going to have you truly try and focus on in your business is terms. Who can tell me the 3 contingencies that are on every contract?
Loan, appraisal, and inspections.
Loan, appraisal, and inspections. There's your contingencies. The biggest thing we talk about in one of our training classes is how to get your contracts accepted 90% of the time.
Yep.
The first time. and it's going to come down to terms. You see, if you can't come up with the money, I can't help you. And if you don't have good terms on your contract, well, I still can't help you. We need to put ourselves in a position of conquering this and overcoming this. Very easy to do. But the next time you get an offer, in fact, Lewis texted me the other night. It was 11 o'clock at night, sends me a text, says, can you review this contract? So I'm up till 12 o'clock going over this contract with Lewis, and turns out that his terms, spot on. 3-day contingencies on everything. I thought, how is that even possible?
Even on the
3-day
loan?
Contingency, even on the loan, which blew me away because Nate does 24 hours. So I thought, he was already behind the curve on that. But to that point, you want to make sure that your terms are great. Okay? Don't ever write an offer without good terms. Buyer snapshot. The one thing that I pointed out here, married couples. 61% of the buyers were married. You could put yourself as a marriage consultant specialist for buying homes. You can do anything you want on that. But when you say the right things through a hashtag, what happens? It gets noticed a lot more. When you say the right things through your post because you're touching on niches, you get a lot more notice. And in this industry, because it's a contact sport, and we want that face-to-face, we want our phone to ring, we should really, truly focus on becoming niche specialists. All right? Moving on to sellers. Okay? You want to take a... Yes.
For married couples too,
Yes.
you could go to the court and get like people who apply for marriage licenses. So
I love that.
they're with records. So.
It's not gonna work for me. I'm like, so I see you're about to get married.
You can create a whole honeymoon thing. You can create, the greatest gift you can give this wedding, this marriage is, whatever you want to put down.
Don't invite Marvin to your wedding. Don't invite Marvin. Wedding crasher.
Can we get on with the lesson?
So you don't have a baby to save the marriage, you get a house.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
you
go.
pitch that.
A house you can get rid of, a baby you can't.
There you go.
You can sell a house.
I said a house you can get rid of, a baby you can't.
You see, if you begin to stretch your mind and you put these things into play, your marketing, your advertising, you will become the go-to, right? And that's what we want. We want to create that availability to go to somebody. So taking a deep dive into the sellers, question they asked is, where is your current residence located? 38% that sold bought in the exact same county. So what does that tell you? You can become a county specialist. Buying and selling simultaneously with your county specialist. What does that do? It reaches 38% of 500,000 people that bought a home in California. You begin to open up what you're able to do, and when you're able to do more, people will rely on you to do more. Look at this. I thought this was interesting. 41% of sellers sold directly to a person or a company that assured an easier sales process and an assured move-out date. I could think of 1,000 niches that I can run around our company, right? That has a very easy, smooth selling process with a guaranteed move-out date. You see, that takes a lot of fear out of sellers. Why do sellers not sell?
Because they're worried about when they gotta move.
Not only that, which is good,
They gotta find another.
they've got to find another place. I have nowhere to go. Don't worry about it. We can handle that. Look at this. 42% of sellers says they would be willing to pay your commission for a faster or easier sales process.
Yep.
With what?
Move out date.
Assured move-out date. So sellers are concerned about move-out dates because they don't want it to sit for 6-7 months. And they're also concerned about it not being an easy process, but if you can make both happen, 42% are willing to pay for that. Make sense?
Yes.
Let's take a look at sellers, what they need assistance with from their realtor. 59% said the biggest thing that they need assistance with was negotiating the price or terms of an offer when it came in. And also, 59% determining a list price strategy. You see, it's already out there in the seller market that they need strategy. We need a pricing strategy. And if the fear is, well, you know, you're not really sure when you're going to move out. Truth is, I don't really know how to list your home. I don't have a pricing strategy for it. What do you want? 1.8 million? Sure, I'll list it at 1.8 million, even though your neighbors are selling for, you know, $400,000.
Yeah, show me neighbors selling for.
So now they're not going to pay you, right? You're not going to close. They're upset with you. So understand that as a professional, one of the niches that you can create is a pricing strategist. That's even a word.
Can't spell that.
Strategist, thank you.
Stratego.
Strategist. I like strategist. We're going to run with that one.
You should be my fake realtor.
And look at this, a negotiation specialist. You always hear, well, I'm really good at negotiating an offer. But talk about it. A negotiation specialist and what Frankie said on the strategy thing. Right? Create that. You can do my googly when I pass away.
Damn, I thought that was gonna be me.
Top 2 reasons for selling your home. What was your primary reason for selling your home? What does that say? Top 2. Change in family status. Marriage, divorce, going on and on.
Divorce.
Desired better or other location. So you want a better location, right? I am a move up specialist. And as your dedicated move up specialist to San Joaquin County, not only do I help buyers move up and choose better home locations, but what I also focus on,
Is those bigger?
and you begin to take these slides and you begin to become a specialist with very specific and targeted marketing through a video. And if you did that every single day, guess what? People would just call you. Why do you think whenever you see Tom Petty on the corner, right, or someone running for, you know, a government or elected position, you see these signs everywhere, every day for, you know, a month? Why do you see that? It's because they want to embed in your head to vote for them. We're asking our potential buyers and our potential sellers to vote for us. Are we doing a good enough job getting our information out there? What platform are we standing on? AKA niche. Take a look at this next slide. I thought this was impressive too. What does it say again?
I am married.
I am married.
Susan.
So I am your San Joaquin County marriage specialist who helps you move up and move out to better locations, better schools, and you begin using what's working. Like Asher said, you can find the right algorithm on your own, you know, back and forth with hashtags, or you can hire the Hashtag Pro app, whatever that is. I don't know the name, but it's amazing. And what it does is it finds the best ones for you. You now have content to tell you what the majority of buyers did last year, why they bought a home, and what the majority of sellers sold a home for. And if you don't take that and run it into your marketing, your advertising, you're missing a really big piece of the pie. Yes, Gloria.
What about if you
Great
have...
question. Now, you and Marvin give me too many questions for these meetings. I didn't prepare for it. It's not on my slide.
What about if you had 2? Like, if you had 2, for example, the boomers, the older people, they're moving.
What are you trying to say?
And a lot of times...
We know what she's saying.
How did you do that over there?
Yes.
And a lot of times they want to downsize. So what if your that's not only your specialty, but it's also like condominiums or something like that, or like lakefront homes, somewhere like retirement where they would want to go that way. It's like, hey, I can sell your home and get you into a new home. Like, could you do that?
Yes, absolutely. And I love the way your brain is going with that. And that's what I want you to do when you see these slides. Challenge yourself to do something that no one else is doing.
I'm gonna focus on Caucasians.
What is a Caucasian?
Can you show me Caucasian on a globe or a map?
Well, I mean, you said go off of what's the highest percentage. So marry Caucasians.
That's her. I prefer not to answer. To your point, yes, Gloria, that's powerful. Find a niche, right? You know, it was some odd like 40% or 38% of renters that wanted to move. Again, don't quote me on this percentage, but it's a very high percentage. Moved because they wanted extra room for their pets. That's huge. Huge. We are in an animal-loving world, yes, and I love all animals.
Does your dog need a bigger space?
About to get a pigeon.
Especially your dog. You just
Yeah.
love that dog.
Yes. Love my dog.
Cuddle with him all the time.
When I'm not spending time with my wife, I'm with my
You've
dogs.
heard me say this before, and I thought it was worth saying again. I said it last month, and this I am going to say it again because I want everyone to 100% understand where your money comes from in this industry. So that in 2020, in May, June, when you come up to me and you say, this has been a wild ride, I absolutely love it. I am making, my target was $300,000 this year. I'm on pace to hit that and exceed that. And I'm going to say, well, what are you doing? And you're going to say, well, I remember the foundation for making money in this industry. The first foundation was farming, right? You make 33% of your income in real estate from farming. That is the foundation. So, moving on to the next, open houses. You make 33% of your income from open houses. So take your yearly goal, right? Ask yourself, are you doing social media consistently? Are you doing farming consistently? And are you doing your all three consistently? Because if you're not, the question is, how much money, and I know you can't read it, but how much money are you choosing to leave on the table by only choosing to do one or two or three of these? So if you say, hey, listen, Josh, you know, it's May, you know, I was really hoping to be at 100,000 right now, and I'm not. I'm going to say, well, what's your goal? Well, my goal was $300,000 this year. Well, are you doing social media? Yeah, I'm dabbling in it. You know, I'm getting used to it. I'm 6 months into 2020, and I'm eventually going to get there though, right? I just can't find the right content. I didn't understand the whole niche specialist thing, and I didn't really train myself to do a lot more this year. Well, are you doing open houses? Oh, I cannot do open houses on the weekend. It's not safe.
Oh, by the way, I am new. My name is Frank, but I will host an open house for you if you need it.
Yes, I love that. Opportunity, we find them. And farming. Well, are you farming? No, it's New Year and I don't want to exercise. Right? I'm going against the grain. So I'm not going to exercise, I'm not going to go walk, and I'm not going to pass out valuable information to my community. I am not going to let my community know that I can do a better job for them over anybody else. And it's not fair to not let people know what you do. It's not fair to let people know that you have the greatest tools at your disposal that can help with anything. And it certainly isn't fair to open up a house so a family can come look at it on the weekends. It's absolutely imperative that you understand this is where your bulk of your money comes from. So if you want to make $100,000, just choose one. Right? If your goal is 300. Info. Very, very important info. We have one thing coming up in February. Who can tell me what it is?
Valentine's Day.
Yes, Valentine's Day. That is the most important, babe. And then followed up right behind that, we have our summit. Our summit. So 20,000 agents across the globe are all invited. Yes, we pay for our tickets. They have the greatest breakout sessions, the greatest trainings that you can imagine. We were just on a conference call this morning, and there is some insane things about to come out. And they're hoping to roll it all out before the summit, so we'll be able to come back and share with you. Our whole entire websites are going to be completely revamped, very interactive. It's unreal. And all that's supposed to be taking place right before we hit summit so that they can congratulate everybody on your new site. So you guys on that day, February 16th through the 18th, for those of you that are going to Vegas, check your websites. It's going to be pretty powerful. Yes?
I'll just say this. There's a lot of other real estate companies because I network with a lot of other agents. When I show them my site, they're like, who did your site? I'm like, my brokerage provided it. They're like, dude, I'm paying like a couple $100 a month just for hosting. So a lot of people aren't getting websites. People are paying for their own websites. I don't know any other company that's providing websites that are interactive, that are modern, and it's free hosting. Like, that costs money.
Right.
So that's value.
Yes.
So I've been seeing this come up a lot lately.
The summit?
The summit, obviously I'm a student. So, now I looked at tickets and everything. Now, if I take my wife with me, that price that's quoted for your spouse, is that the price if it's whatever package or size level I choose?
That would be a question for Paula or Treasure. They don't let me handle anything to do with money, so they just pretty much stick me in the
Let me go
corner
ahead
for
and
a
write that
game.
down. Josh does not handle
Nope.
money.
Nope. Otherwise, I'm permanently in the corner, so I don't want to do
You
it.
know how we handle money.
You know, so you want to just double check with Paula or Treasure. But Summit is absolutely incredible. The breakout sessions that they have, I mean, you've got the greatest gurus and masterminds that are, you know, leading these sessions, you know, throughout the couple days for you. An hour breakout to learn, you know, luxury real estate. An hour breakout to learn whatever it might be, but it is powerful. Our lives were changed when we went the first time, and we were blown away. They ran out the MGM Hakkasan nightclub, all 3 floors, open bar for those that drink, and it's just powerful, the entertainment they have. You know, you're walking around through the MGM and you're seeing thousands and thousands of just black and gold walking all the way around. It's stunning, and you get to mingle and grow, and life attracts life, right? We often say if you want to become a millionaire, the quickest way to do it, besides running drugs, so let's talk about the easiest and most legal way to do it, is to hang out with millionaires. If you want to be successful, hang out with successful people. And that's one of the things I love about this company is they gather all the success at one time. They put everyone together, and it's crazy. It's life changing.
That's why Josh doesn't answer his phone when I call.
Yes.
Like, he's trying to hang out.
Hey,
He's like,
Marvin, don't call me. I'll call you.
no. He's not lying, guys. It's not funny.
Market update. So I want to give you just a brief market update right where we are in San Joaquin County. I thought this would be very helpful for you if you're, you know, talking to your clients about where this market's going. First off, I'll read it up top. The median price has steadily increased in the last 2 years. It's increased by $20,000. So median price has increased by $20,000. Not bad. We like to see it going up, and it's definitely moving up, so that's powerful. Year to year, home sales have increased by 8%. That's powerful, right? So you bought a home last year for $100,000, it's gone up $8,000, 8%. You bought a home for $500,000, it's gone up 8%. Those are huge numbers, right? So that's the number we like to see. It shows us that the top one shows us we're still going up. The fact that homeowners are buying a home, and you're telling them buy a home, it's still a great wealth, you know, opportunity. Prices are going up. Year to year, unsold inventory has increased. What does that mean?
It says decrease.
Decreased.
Has decreased. What does that tell you? That the homes that were on the market that were sitting and sitting and sitting are now moving.
Yep.
Right? So our numbers are decreasing. Thank you, Asher.
You're welcome.
Hey, do you want to run to the car for 20 minutes and get me something?
I'll do it, boss.
We'll be done in 20 minutes. And then the year-to-year average days on market. So homes have increased slightly to 26 days on the market, but overall, they're moving. And they're moving because buyers are able to buy. Rates are coming down enough, which is causing affordability to not be as much of an issue, right? So overall, I tell you, we're still very healthy. And we look at this every single month so we can kind of gauge as professionals where the market is. We want our pulse on that, but more importantly, we want to be able to accurately tell our clients when they say, I don't think now's a good time, you know, to write an offer because the market's not doing good. Well, hold on, I've got data to show you we're doing very well. In fact, you might come across buyers that say, hey, you know what, I don't really think it's a good idea to write an offer at full price because the market's tanking. No, I don't think so. Market's doing well, right? I've showed you this before, and I want to show you again, okay? I haven't seen too many of you utilize it, so be sure that you're writing down the tool to become an expert in your city of choice. Somebody just take Cupertino. Someone else take Salida. Someone take Siri. Someone take Merced. Someone take Stockton. Doesn't matter where you decide to begin marketing as a buyer county-specific specialist. You see, if I heard someone say, do not buy a home until you contact San Joaquin County's buyer specialist, I'm gonna think, oh man, that's a really cool title. I didn't know San Joaquin County had those buyer specialists. I better reach out to David Gomez, who's San Joaquin County's designated buyer specialist, right? And then what's David gonna tell me is David's gonna tell me, now I'll have to give you all the link because I don't know why it does that. I let Erica do this last night and that's what happened. So, thanks
She was
Erica.
running with the dog.
She don't like to color in between the lines.
Here's what it looks like. I showed you last time, I'm gonna show you again. You take a city, any city that you want.
That's right.
City you don't even know about. Okay, city you don't even sell in, doesn't matter. And all you're going to do is you're going to show that if the box is shaded in fully, this is what your monthly payment would be, buying at $249. If the box is not shaded in, you only have to put 3% down, and that's what your monthly payment's going to be. This is your down payment requirements. Well, what does this mean? You're showing that current interest rate is 3.69, last month's interest was 3.61, and the last year interest rate was 4.83.
Is that a shareable slide?
This is a shareable slide, and I will share this with you. And I'll give you the link where you can go to and pull these for yourselves as well, okay, step by step. It's very important you do this because you can tell someone that's looking to buy in Lathrop, and how do you know if they are? You don't. So you put it out there as Lathrop's buyer specialist, San Joaquin County's Lathrop's buyer specialist press release. There are 0 homes for sale that have 1 bedroom. In fact, there are only 1 2-bedroom homes for sale, and if you wanted to buy it with 3% down, your entire monthly payment based on these rates, $1,396. You only need $7,000 down.
Not bad.
Not bad, right? Now you're getting buyers to think, wow, well, what about, someone might say, well, what about Stockton? Someone may say, well, what about Oakdale? Someone else might say, hey, I know you're a buyer county specialist. I was thinking about, Stanislaus County. Can you tell me, what Modesto might be? Right? Now you begin to be the go-to agent. You see, there's 3 bedrooms for sale. 3-bedroom homes, there's 15 of them for sale. That's your payments. You take all the guesswork out. All the guesswork, and you are now the go-to specialist. You can do it again for Mountain House. You can do it for Oakdale. You can do it anywhere you want. It's county specific.
I was doing that. I was posting 2 cities side by side so people can talk about the pros and cons, what's more important to you, not get a fight going, but like which is better for you, and engage more. What else do you want to know? What other cities, and invite more conversation? So it's starting to work.
Powerful.
And you can incorporate what you know, the education that you have about loans, to let them know that, hey, that says with 3% down, you put $12,000 down, but we have like down payment assistance programs, so it could be even less than
Content
that.
for content, yeah.
There's so much data in there, like with the 3% to
Yeah.
look at it.
It's huge.
I'm just ashamed of all you
Huge.
Dennis, right?
Make sure you're utilizing, right? You want to become a buyer.
Especially you.
I sat with almost every one of you, and I said, do you want to work more with buyers? Do you want to work more with sellers? And I hear a lot of you say, oh, I want to work with sellers. Well, are you putting data out there for the sellers?
No.
Very specific, a very niche market. And if you're not, I encourage you with your own company to start doing that. And those of you that say, well, I'm going to work with buyers because I love buyers, right? Well, are you putting out buyer specialist stuff? Are you becoming an absolute specialist? It's very important that you begin doing that. Time to honor our $1 Million Club winners. Okay? Those that hit the $1 Million Club in December. All right? So I'm very excited to announce our first, who he is not here today, is none other than Eddie.
Too cool. You have this.
Eddie is on vacation, I think permanently. I don't know if he's coming back.
I asked him what he has in business, he didn't reply.
Our next $1 Million Club in December, and this is powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm so excited for you, my man. Well, eventually.
I think they let you borrow $1 million?
Yes. Hey, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, brother. What does this mean again?
It means you owe the IRS a lot of money. Hire a good CPA.
When did it start? No.
Well, David, I don't know why you look like that on there, but
Kind of messing me up there, man.
no, that's
It looks like
crystal
it says
clear.
the Alien Oler.
Next,
It's
we have
oh.
Martin.
Because I kept getting you know.
Where's his face tattoo?
Congratulations.
It's a hand
Proud of
tattoo,
you,
not a
man.
face
Proud of
tattoo.
you.
Taking this to the bank.
You didn't bring your
Our next $1 million club. Javier.
And he's on the phone right now. He's
He
closing.
literally leaves on the dot. So if this meeting runs over, you won't see him. Well, Javier, our $1 million club.
Our Tri-Valley
Welcome,
specialist.
man. Congratulations. Appreciate it. Get a good attorney. I meant CPA.
Did you?
She's an attorney too. All right. Last and certainly not least, we have. Congratulations. Where's Jennifer? Get up here. Congratulations. I feel like we should just bow.
I don't know.
Because I don't like shaking hands.
I don't
Thank you.
I gave you a little bit of burrito on mine. Sorry.
So extremely proud of all of you that hit the $1 Million Club. It is not an easy thing to do. It requires a lot of patience, a lot of focus, a lot of dedication. And if you've done it without being on a niche market, imagine applying some of the education to your business in 2020. And imagine how much further you can and you will go. That being said, I love my curtains, so I'll bring them to